everybody. Welcome to That Expert Show, where you help run the show. I'm Anna Canzano. Thanks so much for being with me today. I'm talking tonight about engaging in joy. And I'd like to thank Trillium Family Services for sponsoring this episode of That Expert Show. Trillium Family Services is building brighter futures with children and families. They're offering hope to families when they don't know where else to turn, whether they're addressing a one-time mental health crisis or an ongoing condition. Trillium helps equip children and their families with the right tools to understand their challenges, treat their conditions, and gain new skills to manage their mental and behavioral health challenges. I think we can all agree it has been a challenging year for all of us in some measure, and especially for children. You know, I keep reading right now about children being in just mental health crisis, even ones before the pandemic that were mentally healthy and living happy social lives. There's so much anxiety and depression right now among children, and the kids that Trillium actually serves between the ages of 5 and 17. These kids really need your help more than ever, and I want to give you a chance to be able to partner with Trillium in that effort. Joining me now is Shannon Eggman, who is the Volunteer and Donor Engagement Manager with Trillium Family Services. Shannon, thanks so much for being on That Expert Show.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
I am so pleased to be talking to you this time of year especially because, and this year in particular, because I think it's been a rough year for a lot of people. I think mental health is suffering across our community, and I think even the most healthiest, most vibrant people are feeling the effect of this pandemic. And really, it's been challenging to try and look for spots of joy in this. And I think that's where you come in. I know that there's people who might not think there's a lot that we can do right now in a pandemic to be charitable, to help other people, but you would say otherwise.
Yes, you know what? It's interesting that COVID has made everything so much more difficult this year for giving, for supporting the kids. Yet, because of COVID, mental health is so much more necessary right now for our kids and our teens. So we have to problem solve. We have to overcome all of those challenges to make this happen for them.
One thing that I have seen with this pandemic is that it has really accentuated the difference between the haves and have-nots. People who are suffering, in particular kids who are not in safe homes, either physically, emotionally, psychologically, are even more at risk. So I do feel like Trillium is providing an even greater service. And it breaks my heart to think about all of the kids that you serve that may or may not really have much in store for the holidays.
Yeah, it's so true. We provide care to all income levels, but we have a huge demographic of low income or even foster kids in our care. And so they don't have the family resources that a lot of people do. And then, of course, this year is even worse than normal, right? Because of the pandemic, we've had so many people that have lost jobs, and I'm getting, gift requests and people that are reaching out and letting me know that, well, we lost our job. I even had somebody, they'd lost a spouse. And so like they're all of a sudden they're trying to figure out how to do holidays with one parent. And it's just a lot of, really heartbreaking things that you hear sometimes. And so I find it super motivating to do everything within my power to try and get in enough donations and gifts and things that are going to make the kids smile. I mean, that's always my goal. I just want to make them smile. If I can bring a little bit of joy to their lives, and with community support, we can do it.
Well, and that's the thing too. I find that, participating in some kind of philanthropy has always been a big part of my life. And it personally gives me such a lift. I know that there are a lot of people out there that can relate to this. Like if you're feeling down, if you're feeling blue, if the pandemic is really affecting your mood and your mental health, one of the healthiest things that you can do, it's not necessarily a monetary amount. It's not how much you can give. It's just some kind of act of service or some kind of some form of charity can really give people a boost as well.
I could not agree more. There's this beautiful reciprocal effect when you give and serve and volunteer and help others, that you get as much joy back as that you give to the other person. It's really amazing. It's one of the reasons I absolutely love my job because I get to, a lot of times I'm technically working, but it feels like volunteering and I get so much joy out of it. It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome to be paid to do that and to bring joy to
Yes.
kids. So we can definitely team up with you in this, right? I mean, how many kids are we talking about that Trillium serves, that you are trying to do something special for this holiday season?
So we have about 105 kids in our inpatient programs that we try and get gifts for all of those. Not try, we will. We will succeed in getting gifts for all 105 of those inpatient. And then we have roughly 40 to 50 in day treatment. And then we have another 500 plus in our outpatient programs, which fortunately we don't have to try and get gifts for all of them. But yeah, we just do the best we can and get as many as we can possible.
Okay. And so you've gone down, you've gone and done the research and you've talked to these kids. Like you've developed a list, I guess, of items that they're really, would love to get this Christmas. And you've put a lot of thought into the type of things that you have created a list of.
Yes. So, because of COVID, we're just trying to be creative in how we can support the gift giving program, doing it differently this year. And we've created a 100% virtual option. So we have holiday giving under support on our website, trilliumfamily.org. And there is client wish lists. And so you click on the options there and it takes you to an Amazon wish list. And the Amazon wish list is like all kinds of fun things and sometimes practical things that the kids ask for that they want for Christmas. And so you can order and ship straight to us without any contact whatsoever. Sometimes people, though, they like shopping in a local store. Maybe there's a local store they'd like to support, and that works too. You can use the wish list as a guide of what something a kid's wanting and buy in the local store. And I have a holiday gift drop-off date for December 11th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at our Portland Perry Center campus off Powell.
Oh, that's great. So if people choose to buy local, shop small, which I know is so vital to support local businesses and the families behind those businesses,
Yeah.
they can print out, reference that Amazon list and then go buy the identical item or a similar item locally and then bring it to the Perry Center to drop off on that date.
Yes, yes. December 11th, we will be there ready, accepting gifts and sorting them through and getting them all ready to get parceled out to the kids. And you mentioned interviewing the kids for what they want. I have to confess that was one of my favorite things to do this year because I haven't had very many excuses to go see them because we've done a lot of distancing, right? So
Yeah.
going to ask them what they want for Christmas this year was definitely a joy for me. It
What are
was
some of
fun.
the things that have really stuck out to you about the types of things that kids are telling you and that they are hoping for, and um, what sticks out in your mind on that list?
You know, so they ask for a lot of art things, a lot of therapeutic things, right? Because when they're with us, they're learning a lot of coping skills of how to manage their feelings of anxiety or depression or whatever it is they're experiencing. And so we use art and we use sensory items like kinetic sand and squishies and fun things like that, fidget toys, those kinds of things. But the requests that and then I got some typical teen requests too, like Little Peep t-shirts and posters and stuff like that. But the one that stood out the most to me was this one kiddo that just wanted candy. That was I could not get this kid to say anything else, just want candy. And when I asked more questions, I got, well, milk chocolate or Starburst.
That's
I
funny.
was like, it was super cute. So I said, well, maybe a gift card so she can buy more candy. I don't know.
That's hilarious. And some of the items on there, I took a look, are for older kids too. I mean, the
Yeah.
teen, tween age. They're into the things that teenagers and teenagers are into, right?
Yes, they anywhere from we take care of anywhere from ages 5 to 17, and So we have a lot of teenagers in our care. So definitely, I did get I didn't actually find this on Amazon, but I did get some requests they want black ripped jeans, very specifically ripped. I was like, okay, it's a thing right now with teenagers.
Yes.
So
That's definitely a thing. And I think it's important to emphasize here that we're doing this, we want to get the word out because, frankly, a lot of the businesses where you normally would have had these holiday giving trees, they've been shut down because of the pandemic over the last couple of weeks in what is prime season.
yeah, my heart dropped when I heard about the current freeze that we're doing right now because I have wish tags. Some of these requests went on tags, and then there's local businesses in our community that they put those tags and they hang them up on the wall, and then or they put them on a tree, and then customers come in and pick up the tags and go shop for them. And right now, those same businesses are shut down. They can't open their doors to customers for 2 weeks and maybe who knows longer. So yeah, my heart dropped when I heard that because it couldn't have happened at a worse time. It's just a really challenging time.
That is hard. If it's not a matter of buying, Christmas or holiday gifts for kids, what are some other ways that people in the community can team up with Trillium Family Services?
I'm glad you asked. You know what? People are so creative, and I love that. I had a friend that she has her own consulting business where she sells books, right? Children's books, actually. And so she talked to me and she says, "What if I do a book party and then I'll just give all of the proceeds and the extra free books I get to Trillium?" And I was like, "Sure, that's a great idea." And so she did a book party with her already existing business that she does on the side. And then she was able to get us over $300 worth of prizes and gifts for the kids for Christmas just from this one book party. That was so creative. Another organization, I'm not an organization, a neighborhood in Southeast Portland, I love what they're doing. They decided to do a neighborhood drive. And so they put out flyers all through the neighborhood, dropped them off at houses, and they're asking neighbors to shop for the kids. And then they're going to do a drive-by and they're going to drop the gift off at the one house and grab a cup of cocoa because that's as close as they want to get, and then keep going, And I just thought, how creative.
Yeah.
Something else I have volunteers currently doing is we had a bunch, and I'm so grateful for this, of volunteers making masks for us at the beginning of the pandemic because there was no masks to be found anywhere. We were short. So now that finally supply is catching up to demand and we can get our own masks, a bunch of those volunteers have now switched, and now they're making pillowcases for our kids, which is fantastic because it's such a fun, bright way to brighten up their bedroom while they're staying with us. They can have a pillow and it can be, it can have a fun design on it or be bright colors. And so if you can sew, you know what, you can volunteer at home and absolutely no contact, but you have the joy of knowing you're making something really pretty for a kid.
That's great. And those kind of items, if people feel motivated, can also be dropped off on the 11th at the Perry Center?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Fantastic.
And they can always contact me too if they need to arrange something different. But.
Okay. We'll be sure to include a link to the wish list and all of the important information, the date and contact information for you if people would like to help out. Any last thoughts, that you want to leave folks with as we go into this season and what's been a really unusual and in a lot of ways dismal year?
Yeah, I would say, you know what, this year has driven home the point for many people that it doesn't normally touch the importance of mental health because we're all struggling, right? Like we're all facing this thing together. And mental health is so huge and important. And it's not just for our kids and teens, it's for everybody. And if we need more advocates in the community, more people talking about that, more people saying mental health matters, it's important, practice good self-care, see a therapist, all of those things. That's another way you can volunteer. Just be one of our advocates, sharing that in the community. The more we talk about it, the more we eliminate stigma, we make it safe for people to say something when they're struggling. It's important.
That's a fantastic point to highlight in all of this. Shannon, thank you so much for your time and for the important work that you do. And I hope lots of people will check out the wish list and think of ways that they might be able to partner with you in this philanthropy.
Thank you.